courtside here on Rivalry Family Media. So many buttons.
It's not one thing, it's
so many buttons, as it turns out. Back courtside inside the Fieldhouse here at Wachusett Regional High School, alongside Kate Robbins and part of Bill Thomas.
Oh,
Bill
here
Thomas,
we are.
there you are.
I'm
Bill
looking
Thomas.
on my cameraman duties here.
It's Rivalry
Multitasking.
Family Media. We're happy to have you along with us. We had a fantastic version of the national anthem. If I had known it was going to be that fantastic, I would have brought it to you. This young lady who actually just won running by our broadcast position was absolutely amazing. Could have been more than 10. I was going to say 7 years old. She's absolutely incredible.
Sounds all of 17 at least.
Yeah, I was going to say,
great
voice. That was really, really awesome to see and be a part of. But this is Division I Central Mass girls basketball opening round of the MIAA playoffs here from the Fieldhouse at Wachusett Regional. The top seed, undefeated, perfect Wachusett Mountaineers, and meanwhile the Blue Devils of Leominster, they come in as the 8th seed, the very bottom of the division. We will see how things pan out over the next couple of hours. We are ready for tip-off here inside of the Fieldhouse at Wachusett Regional as we get set for action, joined by our partners on Leominster TV as well. Should be a fantastic night. The officials head toward mid-court. They continue to read the MIAA sportsmanship information, and then meanwhile, the ball gets set and up. Faith Akachiri in a stalemate tip with jail post. Akachiri persistence was key. Ended up controlling the draw for Leominster on the tip, but only lasted momentarily as they weren't able to maintain possession. Back up floor, here come the Mountaineers. They will control half court to our right. It's Courtney Lamfer working with Brittany Lamfer. Here's Belle Lamfer. Kick back for Courtney. Into the corner, it's Vinton.
Great ball movement
already. Indeed, already. Lamfer, the drive, it got tipped away. Found its way to Ivana Akachiri. And then down floor, it finds its way into the hands of Skylar Finnegan. Finnegan through Smith. Around to Ivana Akachiri. Now to Faith Akachiri at the foul line. Faith with a little drop off. Grace Adams, the drive, hits the front of the rim short. And no score, just about 50 seconds into this one. Ball lost out of bounds in transition by those Mountaineers,
Second turnover already. If you're Leominster Blue Devils, this is exactly what you want. Keeping Wachusett off of the scoreboard. 2 turnovers to start the game. Doing a nice job in transition. Keep it up, Blue.
Best you could possibly hope for. And there's the inbound full court pressure from the Mountaineers. And Rachel Vinton reached across Giovanna Smith, and that's going to be a foul. First one billed against the Mountaineers, and the Blue Devils will have another opportunity to inbound on the full court.
Blue Devils definitely getting off on the right foot here.
They run into a full court trap there. Skylar Finnegan has to dribble back. It's going to force Giovanna Smith to possess the basketball. The drive finds Ivana Akachiri. Drops it off for Faith Akachiri. Back for Smith and around in the corner. Adams, a 3 from the left side. Long of the mark, heading out of bounds. Run down there by Belle Lamfer. Up floor, finds Courtney Lamfer. Now for McDonald. Into the corner, the drive. Vinton got some room, missed the lay-in. And Ivana Akachiri, a rebound. Now the battle for the loose ball. Ends up in a help ball situation with Ivana Akachiri and Courtney Lamfer.
Got a check-in from Aruba, Tom Cudahy. Good luck, LHS from Aruba. I don't think, Tom, you had to put Aruba in there.
Worldwide.
Where you're finding us worldwide.
But we're excited that you're with us.
As looking out the windows here, while they may be seeing sun in Aruba, they're not here. Meanwhile, interior passing, post with possession, lays it in and good, draws the foul as well.
Interior passing, bounce pass. You don't get any better than that for the lay-in.
2-0. Wachusett is on the board with a chance to make it 3. 6:23 to play here in the opening quarter. Each team has been billed for a foul. Each team's had a couple of turnovers, and now the first point's on the board.
Not posting who the fouls are against, though.
I think that was Gracie Adams, yeah.
Count that one as well. A 3-point play for the Mountaineers the old-fashioned way. Jill Post converts from the foul line. Adams will control up floor. Finnegan, a little nifty behind the back move. Kick back Adams, wide open straightaway 3, short of the mark. And down floor. And right now you can see it, Bill Thomas, just in the body language from Leominster. They're trying to play maybe a little faster than they're capable of right out of the gate, but maybe more than that. It's a little bit of nerves. You're playing a team that's 20-0. It's a daunting task and beat you twice already.
I agree. Do some outside passing. Let's get the rust off here, but be smart about your shot selection too.
Around into the corner. Now it'll work its way back to the top of the key. It's Vinton. Vinton hands it off for Lamfer. Lanfer swings it back around. Vinton, corner, McDonald, 3. Buries it.
So Reagan McDonald with a 65 3-pointers, a 15.0 average.
Make it 66.
Doesn't waste any time nailing a 3-pointer.
And all of a sudden that was 0-0 game is a 6-0 game. 2 trips down the floor for the Mountaineers. Faith Akacheri loses her dribble. Yeah, needed some help, Kate. Great point. Found Finnegan on a give and go. Faith Akacheri ends up backpedaling into the basket. Hadn't dribbled, though. Traveling violation identified. And back down the floor go the Mountaineers with the basketball.
Swarming defense there, frustrating the Lady Blue Devils. Unable to get off a clean pass and put something together under the basket.
3 officials as assigned by the MIAA. All 3 here from Central Massachusetts. 3 from the corner will not go. Battle for the basketball on the floor. Ivana Akacheri comes out with it. She outlets for Smith. Smith up floor, across the midcourt stripe, stops at the arc. It's tipped away by Vinton. Now Vinton in transition out in front of 3 Blue Devils. Avoids a swat, lays it in and good. And quickly, Coach Rusty Frederick up off the bench, has to stem the tide. 4:57 to play in the first quarter. And the Mountaineers have run themselves out to an 8-0 lead.
Well, the first 2 minutes look good for the Blue Devils. Got a couple of turnovers and a foul, but just unable to work the ball around to a good offensive spot. A couple of 3-pointers that were errant and a couple of turnovers, and all of a sudden look at a quick 8-0 deficit.
Starting 5s on the floor for the 2 teams. Rachel Vinton, Reagan McDonald, Belle Lanfer, Courtney Lanfer, and Jill Post were the starting 5 for the Mountaineers. Meanwhile, the introduced starting 5 for the Blue Devils, Skylar Finnegan and Giovanna Smith, play the guard spots. Faith Akacheri working the middle. Grace Adams, the 3rd guard on the floor, and then the 4th out on the floor, in this case, Ivana Akacheri was the 5th name that was out there tonight starting for Leominster. Coming out of this timeout, I think how the Blue Devils respond here is going to be so incredibly important, how this next chunk of action goes.
You hate to say it with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, but it could already be make-break at this point. I mean, I know it's incredibly early on, but if you're going to give up an 8-point deficit to start the ball game to a team that usually wins by 20, 30, 40, 50 or more a game, you're going to have to stem the tide, and it has to happen now.
Indeed it does. Inbound, the full court pressure, a little bit of a loose pass there from Adams. She got it to Ivana Akacheri, then picked up the handoff, crossing half court. Now Faith Akacheri pushed to the mid-range jumper and hits, and Leominster's on the board. 4:40 to play in the first quarter. They're chasing 6. It's 8-2.
Good to see Faith break the ice right there for the Blue Devils.
Around it goes. Here's Vinton on the drive. The runner is too strong off the glass. Vinton was able to tip her own rebound that ended up in the hands of Faith Akacheri. Leominster's got it in transition. Smith. Akacheri now to the right elbow. Faith. Back out to Finnegan. Finnegan crossover. Got a little screen. Drive and runner. Too strong off glass. Battle for the board. It ends up in the hands of Vinton. Vinton's running out. She had 3-on-2 and she slowed the action. Kicked it back for McDonald, who buries the 3.
67 for Reagan.
11-2.
Averaging 3.5 if you can get a half of a 3-pointer, but she's deadly.
Just over halfway through quarter number 1, and Adams crossing midcourt with the big swooping carry. And that'll be a traveling violation. The ball back to the Mountaineers.
A little under-over on the basketball dribble there.
Mountaineers wearing the home white tops, white bottoms with a little bit of that forest green trim. Wachusett across the chest and the forest green numerals front and back. Blue Devils, we're getting the first look at those new road uniforms. Royal blue tops and bottoms, maybe a little darker than we're used to. White trim right along the top at shoulder line. White trim along the waistband as well. A nice combination with the running double L on either side. And there's another basket for Reagan McDonald.
On fire already right now with 8 points.
13-2, the Mountaineer lead has ballooned to 11. Skylar Finnegan was running out of real estate, tiptoeing in the front court, but kept it alive. 3:10 to play here in the first quarter.
Right now, Wachusett's defense is stifling. They are not letting anybody by.
Smith with a handoff for Viva Mori, came in off the timeout. Haley Monville gets her first touch. Bounces it into Viva Mori at 5 on the shot clock. Back to Smith, long 2, back rim, no. Rebound down in the hands of Lanfer. She'll go up floor for Belle Lanfer. Long jumper for 2, side rim, no. And the rebound down for Giovanna Smith. Smith in transition, cross the timeline. 2.5 to play here in the first quarter. Lead is 11 for the Mountaineers. Monville, the one-bounce turnaround in the paint, and the ball will head out of bounds. It was deflected by post. Leominster keeps the basketball.
Getting a question on Facebook Live. What are we filming with? A camera? Can I say that? I think he probably wants a more specific answer.
That is an excellent question.
See, tell him exactly how it's working. The rookie color guy is now the rookie camera guy.
I say Bill Thomas has got the camera angle. The run out down floor. McDonald again ahead of the pack. Will lay it in and good. It's 15-2. A 13-point Mountaineer lead, 2:18 to play in the first quarter. Smith, triple threat position with her back working to Vinton. Now puts the ball on the floor. Back and forth she goes. She hands it off for Ivana Akacheri. Runner, take off at the foul line. Too strong. Got her own rebound. Second opportunity. Will not go. And the ball down into the hands of Lanfer, who gets the reach across from Viva More. Will be called for the foul.
Thank you for calling that out, because you know I'm not going to see it.
The game slowly getting away from the Blue Devils here in the first quarter, and need to put on a little bit of a push here in the last 2 minutes. A couple of timely turnovers, a couple of baskets down the other end before this quarter runs out.
Up floor, into the corner, it's Post. Post through Lanfer, then Vinton, and around into the corner for McDonald. Back and forth they go. Here's the drive from Bell Lanfer, and the reach on the pass. I believe Viva More is going to be called for the foul.
Tough reach in on a drive there, but how nicely the Lady Mountaineers passed the ball around the perimeter. Running a little bit of a weave there and looking for that lane.
So that's going to be Viva More's second, team third in the first half.
Last minute and 40 here of the first quarter, the 13-point Mountaineer lead. The tip was last touched by Bell Lanfer, out of bounds, and the ball goes to Leominster. You know, one thing we haven't talked about here at the Fieldhouse at Wachusett Regional, which is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. My first time inside the building.
The perfect size.
Grace Adams will huck it down floor, but this one is picked by Kat Davis. Davis finds Lanfer. And back and forth on the Mountaineers. Here's the drive. Vinton kicks back Bell Lanfer. Jumper for three. Missed off the side of the rim and got her own rebound and put it right back up, did Bell Lanfer. Meanwhile, Blue Devils just caught flat-footed on the play.
Shooter knew exactly where that ball was coming down. Everybody else stood around, should have went for it, ended up with an easy layup.
And the lead swells to 15, 17-2. The lead for the Mountaineers, a minute and a quarter to play here in quarter number one.
Well, good. Larry Bird used to be at that. I mean, he could almost pick where that miss was going to land as soon as it left his hand. Blue Devils run a little weave of their own.
Indeed they are, and here's Akacheri. Bouncing in the post for Monville. Monville ends up getting pushed back to the foul line. She'll find Finnegan. Little turnaround, stripped in the air. Battle for the basketball. Monville comes out with it.
Nice.
Finds Curly White. Curly White gets it back. A set up from Finnegan. 2 on the shot clock, and there's the violation. And that's just a great credit to some fantastic Mountaineer defense. They have got the floor well covered. Blue Devils are having trouble establishing anything in their half-court offense.
A lot of hands in the way. It's like they got 20 hands out there instead of 10. And all the passing lanes were covered right there. Quick double teams. Results in a shot clock violation.
Waning 40 seconds of the first quarter. 17-2 the lead for Wachusett. That shot was off the mark, short of the rim, and the ball was tipped. Last touch by the Mountaineers and out on the baseline. So we're talking about this Fieldhouse here while we get a second. Big difference here as Adams throws the ball away, finds Vinton, then Post, right back to Vinton on the give and go. Jumper does not go. Battle for the rebound. Back for Lanfer. Endless action here. Lanfer, corner finds McDonald. See the three, be
Nothing
the
but
three.
net right
That's
there.
Reagan McDonald. Oh, my.
Reagan showing us why she has 65 three-pointers coming into this game. She's just deadly.
13 points already in the first quarter.
Deadly was the word I was
deadly
thinking.
from beyond the arc.
Hasn't seen a three she didn't like. Ball out of bounds, and down the floor it will stay with Leominster. What I was saying, Leominster was going to have a little bit of trouble with it. You can kind of see it maybe a little bit with their being off the mark. In the gym at Leominster High School, they also have the baskets that hang from the ceiling, that old 60s design. In this case, this is the new design where the ball does hang. It floats in space. You've got this basket floating out there, and you've got nothing to create any kind of frame of reference to box you in on either end, so the basket looks like it's floating in space.
And I'm going to tell you why. And I was talking to Coach Gibbons, the boys coach. he said that they feel they have an advantage when they change the depth of field behind the basket. They purpose, because I mentioned we were at Fitchburg. They play with the curtains down.
No, you want it like
I'm
this.
Like, no, we put them up because we want to mess up the opponent's depth of field.
And that's always been the argument at Syracuse. It was the benefit of the Carrier Dome as you're shooting into this large, wide open space. It's also sometimes why there's complaints we get into the NCAA tournament and they go into those larger arenas and they play with the baskets and courts up on stage. The baskets look like they're floating in space with 70,000 people surrounding them. It's a much different view for the shooters that are on floor, and you can't replicate that at your home court.
Coach Gibbon wasn't shy about it. He was actually putting the curtain up while the boys were practicing to get ready for the girls' game. Well, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, we like them up.
Think also about at other levels, right? When you have a college situation, when you have an NBA situation, you have a morning shoot-around. This morning, they were in English class. That's the big difference in high school athletics. It's a morning shoot. You don't get to go try out the facility. They got the, about 45 minutes. They were here before the game started.
5:30.
And that's it. And that's what you get to adapt to the floor. And it's evident in this 18-point Mountaineer lead through one quarter.
A 2-point quarter is going to lead to the end of the season real quick.
20
See if the Blue Devils can't bounce back a little bit here, get a game out of this coming into half.
Set to start the second quarter. Adams with the inbound right here in front of us. Down into the post, Akachiri. Backed in, kicks it back out. Adams, fake, bounce, finds Smith. Through, Skylar Finnegan. Pretty look at a three, too strong. And tipped out of bounds, and the ball will go to Wachusett. And again, you're kind of seeing it. The first trip down the floor, Leominster was short of their mark. So they've tried to put a little bit more oomph on it, and then all of a sudden now, they're too strong. And they're trying to find the happy.
I'm willing to say it's the depth of field and the not having the background behind the baskets just throws off the whole perception of how far you have to launch the ball.
Meanwhile, let's ask Reagan McDonald whether she enjoys lining that one up.
I think she does.
From Kat Davis, who hits. And make it an even 20-point lead for the Mountaineers. 22-2. 7:20 to play here in the second quarter. And Finnegan gets called for the walk.
10th turnover for the Blue Devils.
A carry or something.
Yeah, carry. She came up over top of it.
Tough
got
basketball call when you never see that called at any other level. I don't think we've seen that called much at all this level.
It's about controlling your dribble. And when you're playing just a little bit out of control, it's very easy to get that slip. And then the question becomes, hey, you're in the playoffs. Right. I don't blame the officials. You got to call what you got to call. And if you're carrying the basketball, it's got to be whistled.
And let's give the Mountaineers defense credit, too, for putting that kind of pressure on.
Yeah, this one was Megan Bell-Lanfer, and she buries another three and make it 25-2. 6:50 to play here in the second quarter. Ball tipped away here, still loose. It's going to roll, last touch off of a Mountaineer, and will benefit Leominster.
The other thing, I'm looking down to our right, there's all kinds of fans, like all kinds of commotion over there. Kids playing in the open floor.
It's great, though.
All kinds of stuff going on for commotion and distractions for the visiting team.
Say hello to a few folks out there. Lynn, is it Croxwell? Says, go Mountaineers, tuning in with us tonight. Then we've got Patty Fontaine Florio says, go Leominster. So we're getting some participation from both sides tonight.
That pass was cross court, basically all the way half court to Monville, tipped out of bounds. Turnover for Leominster, back in the hands of the Wachusett Mountaineers yet again.
Shout us out wherever you are on Facebook Live. You can find this game in replay if you're joining us on YouTube with our friends at Leominster TV, as Bell-Lanfer finishes the lay-in. Or you can find it on Rivalry Family Media on YouTube within the next 24 hours or so. You can subscribe to @Rivalry Family Media on YouTube today. Here's the drive. Adams, the runner, might have gotten away with a little post-shot contact, but the lay-in will go, and Leominster doubles up their point total. 2 minutes into quarter two, it's 27-4.
That basket's tough to find tonight for the Lady Blue Devils.
The cutter down the lane. Davis, what a great feed from McDonald.
Run and weave without the ball, looking for that cutter, off ball, weak side. Great job.
Mike LeClaire checking in with us on Facebook Live. Thank you so much.
Mike LeClaire formerly worked on Coach Oxford's staff here at Wachusett as an assistant coach. Here's the drive, the turnaround, a little head fake from Smith. Gets some room, gets the jumper off.
Rusty wants to talk about it a little bit.
Indeed he does. Got a made basket, 29-6, 5:22 to play in the second quarter, and Leominster will use their second timeout of the first half.
I was joking with Rusty also about his using his timeouts and using them wisely. We saw the Framingham coach take great advantage of them in the boys' game the other night. He even got a timeout when they didn't have possession of the ball. Fortunately, Rusty's got to try to use them to slow down the Lady Mountaineers' momentum tonight.
Love shouting out social media. Lynn Cresswell says to us she's watching from Virginia tonight, and she is related to both of the Lanfers.
It's good we're getting people from both sides.
I
It's
love
nice
the
to see
participation.
that. I love
Absolutely.
it. Thanks, everybody, for checking in. Keep those comments coming.
Indeed, we will. Remember the winner tonight as we continue in this MIAA postseason. There were just 8 teams that qualified in the girls basketball district playoffs here in Central Mass.
So it's a small bracket.
It's very, very small bracket. So tonight, all of those teams, the 8 will be cut to 4. There'll be semifinal games this weekend. In this top half of the bracket, the winner of this one gets the winner of the 4-5 game, which features Holy Name and Natick. That game being played at Holy Name tonight. It also tipped off at 6:30. Bottom half of the bracket, the 2-seed Concord Carlisle cruised to an 8-point win over the 7-seed Shrewsbury, a 49-41 win. The game was played yesterday. So Concord Carlisle has already punched their ticket to the Sunday semifinals. And meanwhile, in the 3-6 matchup, Franklin and Westford will match up tonight. Yes, those two teams are part of Central Massachusetts. Get out your geography maps for that one. 2:27, that game being played tonight, also a 6:30 tip.
Have to think about population density.
That's right. The drive and scoop from Jill Post is good, and it's 31-6.
See, they waited until you got done with that, Todd, before they scored a basket. That was good timing by the Lady Mountaineers.
Love one of the great benefits as Monville will drive to the hole, draw the foul, and get the lay-in to go. She'll get an opportunity for a 3-point play at the foul line.
Nice to see Haley show some aggression there, use her size to get to the lane.
One of the benefits of doing a combined digital network / television broadcast is the viewer can see.
I know.
Not like radio. When we're doing radio, you can
talk
describe
about
everything. You can have a little conversation.
They can watch the action. I
Absolutely. That's the definitive difference between television, radio, and digital. Loose basketball picked back up by Leominster, able to cause a turnover with a little full court pressure. 31-8 is Wachusett's lead. Leominster looking to cut their way back into the game. And there was a ball out of bounds, I believe was the call. Last touched by Leominster. Mountaineers will keep it. 4.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
I think Giovanna was out of bounds when she touched that ball.
That's
why they ended up, because she was on the floor.
Another part of the vast Fieldhouse feel. Sometimes it is a little bit tricky to find that out of bounds line.
Bell Lanford bounces it on the inside. That may have caught Grace Adams' foot. They keep the play alive. They kick it out to Rachel Vinton, and she sticks a 3.
Accidental offense off a knee ball pass. It went right to her for a wide open shot.
Halfway through the second quarter, 34-8, Mountaineers. The pick made there by Post. Post 4-on-2 down 4. Into Vinton, lays it in and good. Make it 36-8.
Cruising.
Indeed, they are. They are. I got to go. We got to reach into that, vast movie references that you can find. They are the mean machine. This Mountaineer team is absolutely a mean machine. You have got to play your best basketball if you're going to come in here and compete. They get out in front and transition again. That's Courtney Lanfer with the lay-in and good.
The fundamentals are just astounding.
And they have ball handlers in every position, and they run the court very well. They hustle every possession.
Looking for room. It's Smith. Smith for Adams. Inside Monville working on 2. Stripped away by Bell Lanfer. On the run out with Courtney. Hand off Bell to Courtney. Lanfer with 2.
Blue Devils a little slow getting back down court on that turnover.
Courtney Lanfer had the finish.
That's the 6th steal by the Lady Mountaineers and the 14th turnover by Leominster already in the first half.
Inside of 3 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Monville with the drive and a little bit of a lean. Kat Davis will be called for the foul, and Monville will get a trip to the foul line.
That'll be Davis's second team third.
Shot away for Monville, too strong at the foul line.
Of 2 so far is Haley Monville.
Grace Adams will take a trip to the bench, as will Ivana Akacheri.
You know what's been really nice rather large number of Leominster Blue Devil boys basketball players in attendance here tonight.
Yeah,
love to see that as well.
Checked in with us pregame.
Yeah, had an opportunity to say hello to Derek Thomas and Gavinsky Pierre-Louis. Stopped by to say hello.
One thing the Leominster sporting community has done is always supported their other teams, boys and girls, and vice versa. It's great to see.
No question about that. Pass in the post. Back to Lanford. Back through post into the corner. Finds its way to Barefelt.
Beautiful.
Nice bounce pass along that baseline. Indeed, it was short of the mark from, was that McDonald?
I
have to point out that McDonald just shorted a three.
She was.
Because she's so accurate.
Uncontested three
when,
at that.
when something like that goes on, you got to point it out. She missed one.
She missed. Yeah.
I mean, odds are it's bound to happen.
Waiting to see. I was just going to say, I'm waiting to see her chuck it up from there, and she did.
She did indeed. Too strong.
Oh, big collision.
Yeah, a little bit of body contact. The ball was already out of bounds, and the ball back to Leominster. 2:17 to play here in the second quarter. The lead 40-9 for the Mountaineers.
She's got that fearless gunslinger look in her eye whenever she has the ball. Just looking to score from any place on the court.
Vivamore with the dribble. Crossover, gets a screen. There's a collision. Down goes Akachiri. And they'll call him for the body contact. I think it's Barefelt. It is. Avery Barefelt gets hit for the foul. It will be Mountaineers' fourth.
It will be Barefelt's first, team fourth. I feel like a parrot.
Oh.
Mishandled? You had two a minute ago.
Mishandled on the inbounds. Yeah. I tell you, Lady Mountaineers doing a great job pressuring the ball, both ends of the court, every inbounds. Nothing's coming easy for the Blue Devils tonight. Even with a 30-point lead, Mountaineers are pressing everything they can.
How often do you see 40 points in the first half for a girls' basketball game?
Frankly, I'm just staggered.
Well, I'm not, based on the numbers that I was crunching today. I'm not surprised to say.
But I mean, they're on track for 80 plus.
No. Surprised was not the words that I said. It's one thing to read about it. It's another to see it in person.
To see it, exactly.
And Vinton buries that three. Make it 43. 90 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Taking nothing away from a Leominster team that has had their own growth and development under first-year head coach Rusty Frederick. It's just like watching two teams that are going at entirely different speeds. That basket waved off there for Skylar Finnegan. They call her for shifting her feet.
Yeah, the Mountaineers are definitely playing at a higher level,
Absolutely.
I guess we could say.
Absolutely.
Not to take anything
More
away from the Blue Devils,
More
but
developed.
yeah, polished, ball handling skills. You can see a definite advantage.
There's the bounce pass for Vinton. Into the corner. He finds Jill Penno seeing her first opportunities on the floor. The kick back, it was for Barefelt. She shorted the shot. Akachiri's got the rebound on the baseline.
Got a lot of contact, though.
Indeed, final minute here of the second quarter. Vivamore takes a shot at a three, and she hits.
Nice to see.
Into the corner. Jumper, too strong off backboard. That won't go. For Penno. Around it goes. Set up McDonald. Good look at a three. Too strong off the basket support. And the rebound down ends up in transition with Finnegan. Into the corner. Finds Smith. The drive. The little runner. And that one will not go. Battle for the loose basketball. Finds its way post. Post into the corner. Here's a drive. McDonald had it swatted away by Munville.
Haley. Jill on the spot. I was going to say Johnny, but I'm trying to come up
Jill.
with Jill on the spot.
It's fair. That's fair. That is
Janie. Janie on the
Janie,
spot.
there we
Janie on
go.
the spot.
There we go.
Janie on the spot.
15 and a half seconds to play here in the second quarter. One thing you can tell, Leominster, there is no quit. They will not quit in this game.
Nice save by
Kept
Skylar.
alive indeed. Referee was getting ready to blow it dead and realized she kept it alive. Meanwhile, a giveaway at midcourt, a reach back in for Monville and a foul. Meanwhile, be it that Leominster's not going to quit, Coach Jim Oxford's not going to stop coaching.
No, not
He's
at
going
all.
to get players the opportunities on the floor, especially the young players. When you look at kind of the distribution, their starting five, 4 out of 5 are seniors. You go to their bench where they have 6 players, 4 out of those 6 are freshmen. Put that into perspective when you're thinking about it.
That's a developmental system right there.
As your first half comes to a close here from the Fieldhouse at Wachusett Regional, the Mountaineers with a commanding 43-12 lead through one half of play. We'll take a quick timeout here on Leominster TV and Rivalry Family Media. When we come back, halftime, Kate recaps those first half stats and just how many three-pointers Reagan McDonald can add to her total. All that coming up when we come back here on Rivalry Family Media and Leominster TV. Stay with us.
Oh, I just noticed it was Jack and wanted to know what we were filming with. The reason the comment, I don't think he's like I thought it was me at first. I realized it doesn't happen in hockey. It's happened before this season. But yeah, I don't know.
He wrote this song about some kid.
Back inside the Fieldhouse at Wachusett Regional. Todd Robbins alongside Kate Robbins and Bill Thomas. Halftime score here from the Fieldhouse. Wachusett 43 and Leominster 12 through one half of action. And Kate, we got to look at those numbers. They are absolutely Mountaineer impressive.
They certainly are. Let's first take a look at the Leominster side of the ball. Team totals first. The Blue Devils shot 5 of 17 from the field. So 29%, 1 of 4 from behind the three-point arc, so that's 25%. They shot 1 of 3 from the free throw line, that's 33%. They had 7 rebounds, no steals, 16 turnovers in the first half of play. However, individual statistics for the Blue Devils: Smith has 2 points, Adams has 2 points, Faith Akachiri with 2 points, Monville with 3 points, and Vamore with 3 points. So right now, Skylar Finnegan not on the board for the Leominster Blue Devils. So that becomes quite a bit of a problem. That's one of your higher scorers right there. If we take a look at the Mountaineers side of the ball, team totals first. Billy, you'll love this stat. 18 of 23 from the field. They're shooting 78% from the field. 6 of 13 from behind the three-point arc. That's 46% for 3. They're 1 of 1 from the free throw line. That's 100%. 12 rebounds, 6 steals, 9 turnovers thus far in the first half of play for the Mountaineers. Individual statistics for the Lady Mountaineers: Vinton has 10 points, Davis has 4, McDonald already with 13 points, all of which came in the first quarter of play. The Lamphers 7 and 4 respectively, and Post has 5 points. We have a 31-point differential right now. The Lady Mountaineers 43, and the Blue Devils of Leominster 12.
Tough first half of action, and Bill Thomas, if we were going to talk about what do you change here, I mean, if you watch your opponent hang 43 in the first half, the one thing you do know is it's possible. It's possible that you could do it.
Well,
but it wasn't difficult enough getting off the bus playing the 20-0 team. Now playing the 20-0 team who had 43 at halftime is a little bit worse.
Yeah, down by, quick math tells me 31. That's
31.
a tall. That's a tall mountain to climb. And you know, I was looking at, and it's all about history and what you've done in the past. First 2 games, the 2 games that they played, 68-34, a 34-point loss first time around, and a 71-32, a 39-point loss. Being down 31 right now doesn't bode well, but I fully expect the Lady Blue Devils to play a complete second half. If nothing else, you know,
Just
Rusty's telling them, come out, let's win the second half, let's win a quarter, let's win a possession. It's all about baby steps. And, you know, these girls are learning. They know that they're probably not going to win this game tonight. You know, there's the realistic side of things. But there's always room for improvement. And I know Rusty's going to keep coaching. The girls are going to keep playing. So I still expect to see a good competitive second half right down to the final buzzer.
And that's one thing that you can say for sure. Bill Thomas pointed out, there's no 31-point basket you're going to be able to get this all in one fell swoop. So it's got to be small goals. You're going to start by trying to win a possession, then maybe a quarter, then you try to win the half. Hey, if it goes really well, maybe you win the basketball game. One step at a time. That is the key here at halftime.
But even beyond that, if you think about it, the Blue Devils at this point in time, they have nothing to lose. Come out, have fun, play as a team, at least enjoy. If these are going to be the last 2 quarters of basketball that you have this year, just go out and enjoy each other. Have a great time. Have some fun.
And for their seniors, great opportunity here to go out with an exclamation point, even if the year ending will be difficult. And for the others that will be coming back, a chance to build for the years to come. All that as we continue to chronicle things into the second half here on Leominster TV and Rivalry Family Media. A quick break and we're back with more second half action right here of the MIAA Girls Division I Central Playoffs. Wachusett 43, Leominster 12 at the half. A break and more to come. Stay with us here on LTV and RFM. Second half action begins here on Leominster TV and Rivalry Family Media. So happy to have you along with us for this girls Division I Central Mass opening round game. Top seed Mountaineers at a perfect 20-0 on their way to making it 21-0 as we start the second half. They enjoy a 31-point lead. 30 seconds into this one, and Leominster with their first pick on a turnover, starting similar to the way the game began. Immediately up floor with the pressure. That ball heads out of bounds. Leominster will keep it. Last touch by a Mountaineer. Here's Faith Akacheri. Gets some room on post. The shot was deflected. Loose ball came out. Yeah, his post ran out of her shoes. Meanwhile, Leominster 3-on-1 travels with the basketball, and the ball back to the Mountaineers. When it rains, it proverbially
Skylar
pours.
Finnegan got her feet tangled up a little bit there. An unfortunate stumble because she had a clear path to the basket. Tried to throw up a late shot, but good call for the traveling.
Into the corner. It's McDonald, and a foul called on the Mountaineers away from the basketball. Reagan McDonald gets called for the moving screen.
That official was a long ways away.
Foul was certainly away from the basketball. And there's a correction. Jill
Is it offense?
Post.
He called an offensive
Yeah, it was an offensive foul.
I was going to say,
Post.
if he was calling something on the ball, it was an off-ball foul.
Yeah, it was off ball. Well, definitely off ball.
I was calling something on the ball over there. I was like, wow, that was a long ways away.
Corrected that foul was on 20, not 10.
That's correct. Post picks up her first, team first of the second half.
Faith Akacheri, triple threat position, decides to slash. Down the right side lane she goes, bothered from behind. Post picks up the loose ball. Ivana Akacheri reaches in, came across the arms, called for the foul, and the ball will go back to the Mountaineers.
Nice drive there. Just couldn't finish it up. Got a little too far into the basket, an extra step. Couldn't get it ball through the hoop. Blue Devils staying aggressive, though. That's what we like to see. Continuing to try. Got to try.
Oh, we got a great message
Keep
here.
the
I'm going to have Kate chip in if she gets a chance. If not, we'll get it at the next stoppage. As a turnaround for Belle Lanfer. Lanfer feeds post out to Vinton, and they continue to play catch. And now McDonald, the look for three. Front rim, no roll. Tipped out of bounds, and Leominster basketball. And Kate, this message from one of our viewers, I think pretty much sums up what we were trying to talk about at halftime.
Absolutely. This one from Melissa Nickel Bible. Have a great time, Lady Blue Devils, and finish strong.
And that is the key message if you are Leominster right now. Note, by the way, the Fun Socks, didn't get to talk about it in the first half, for Giovanna Smith. The shot is off the mark. They hit a basket support, and the ball will go back to the Mountaineers. Giovanna Smith has these neon green socks which jump out at you at first, and then you look at the logos, and of course, without giving the shoe manufacturer on the front benefit, the Superman logo on back, which I appreciate.
Superwoman.
That too. Minutes into this third quarter, and not a basket has been scored from halftime. We're still at 43-12. The drive, it won't go for McDonald. Loose basketball picked up by Belle Lanfer. She keeps it alive, swings it to post. Ditches two defenders, post finds some room, lays it off glass and good. Mountaineers are on the board. 5.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter, make it 45.
Smooth underhand scoop right there.
Ball was tipped from behind by McDonald to Ivana Akacheri. Tipped out of bounds.
That was a guess by
Mountaineers.
that official.
Yeah, I know he didn't know. It's like, I'll give
When
it
you
to the
look
Blue
away from the play, you might be giving it away.
The touch was kind of a coin flip as both players kind of had an arm on it. Mr. the beneficiary, Smith the tip, and she slid the pivot foot, and the ball will go back to the Mountaineers. 5:20 to play in the third quarter, 45-12. Mountaineers with the lead. You know, there's a point in time when you are a team where at some point you just have to tip your cap and go,
well,
yep,
well played.
Well played. You got us. You got us again. It won't last forever. And that all of a sudden becomes the measuring stick for your years to come. You want to be that team. Here's the jumper from post. It won't go from deep. The rebound for Ivana Akacheri. She'll outlet for Grace Adams. Adams up floor through the foul line. Nice step around. Got it up on the glass and got some help from the iron to go.
Good job by Grace right there. First 2 points of the second half for the Lady Blue Devils.
Great crowd on hand tonight.
Absolutely. Fantastic
Quiet,
crowd
though.
on hand.
Very respectful.
They are an
Well
incredibly
behaved.
respectful crowd. I'd like to maybe suggest that they're enjoying the play-by-play call. Here's a jumper for 3 from McDonald. Took a little bump. Rattled the 3 home.
Another.
Bill, I've lost the count from 65 before the
She's
game.
over 70. I don't know. She got 5 yet, Kate?
She's 4.
4. She's going to have 70 before the
So
night
she
done.
will. She's heading toward that 70 mark about halfway through this third quarter.
Those were her first points, though, since the first quarter.
Interesting point there. Loose ball pass did not make it to its target. Bell Lanfer finds Courtney Lanfer. Count the basket and a foul. Great
Textbook.
concentration.
Textbook fast break and a great finish from the left side of the basket.
Fouls on number 22, Ivana Akacheri.
Wholesale changes
Ivana
for the Lady
Akacheri
Blue.
picks up her first, team second of the second half.
The crowd has been so polite tonight. We've actually gotten to kind of try out this floor microphone. I'm getting great sound from the ball dribbling and the squeak of the sneakers. I don't know that that's the overall goal, but it's a nice fill. Lanfer can't get that one to go, and the rebound down for Adams. Adams will drop it off Kaya Curley-White.
Big steal.
Read the passing lane to Del Lanfer, and coast to coast she goes for the lay-in. Wow.
That's an understatement, Todd. Quick to the ball, great defense, hands up, in the way of everything.
Bill Thomas, how long have you known me now? Close to a decade, right?
Close to it.
There's not often that I'm calling play-by-play and I don't know what to
In
say.
awe, basically.
Yeah, awe is the right word.
I mean, there's only so many superlatives you can use, but these Lady Mountaineers, they're just a fun team to watch. They're all over the ball.
Fundamental
Yeah,
basketball
But
team.
if you want to see textbook fundamental basketball, they're putting on a clinic.
Vivamore with a little jump stop.
But it all starts over there on the bench.
Yes,
It all comes
absolutely.
from that coaching, practice philosophy. This just doesn't happen by accident.
No
And
question
it also
From the
happens
ground up,
with all
the
these
youth.
young ladies that are
Exactly.
in the stands.
And look
Starts
how much
with the
fun they're
youth.
having, by the way, down the far end. We'll try to get a look at it during a stoppage
There we
of
go.
play. Meanwhile, there's the lay-in good for Vinton.
Underneath, again, working the basket nicely, using the backboard. Nice interior pass. Textbook basketball
And
by
you
the
talk
Lady
about
Mountaineers.
those young players being here, and maybe they're not 100% paying attention, but they're exposed to it.
Yep.
They're around it. They get it.
Yep.
They see the precision as Vivamore will lay that one in.
But, we've seen it in Leominster football. Success breeds success.
Absolutely.
You want to be part of a winning program, and you want to get in on the ground floor.
Post with the jumper that won't go. Monville up off the deck after going down hard. Tipped the rebound. Found Adams stepping in the lane. Vinton swatted it out of bounds. And the basketball will go to Grace Adams, and Leominster will keep. Adams, the inbound. She wanted it right back into the corner, and Monville had other plans. Ball goes over and back as Leominster mishandles, and you can see the frustration is palpable, but I hate to call it negative frustration because that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a team that knows right now they're just not ready for this kind of competition. But, when I'm looking at how young these players are, in a year's time, they can take a big step closer to that competition.
And you can see how much they want it, and that's key.
The jumper for 3 will go for Reagan McDonald.
That's 70. I think that puts her at 70.
Indeed, it does.
Above her average, averaging about 3.5 a game. She's on spot tonight.
5
Spot
tonight.
Into the post, Vivamore. And she lost the handle on it, and you can just see her kind of clap her hands.
But again, that's what I like to see. That type of frustration, she's not like, oh, whatever.
Yes.
And a lot of times at the high school level, when you get this frustrated, you see that. I know we still have a full quarter to go, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing frustration because of a lack of execution, and I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. You want them to have a passion to get better, as Vinton's 3 will not go. Ball tipped. Lanfer going for post, couldn't get there. Leominster with the pick, take it down floor. 90 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Smith with the long 2, long the mark. Through Curley-White, now up floor. Post, finds Lanfer, lays in and good.
Fast break. Run. Looking down court, 2 dribbles, a pass and a basket.
I have to tell you, as I look ahead here in central Massachusetts, and maybe it's just a tiny bit early, but I don't see a team on here that can produce offense like this.
No.
Well, when you look at the way they ran roughshod over the Central Mass opponents, those numbers, 50-plus point win, 40-plus point, 12 wins, 30 or more. I mean, it's astounding, the numbers that they've put up this year. And they're continuing to do it tonight.
Courtney Lanfer in the corner, goes cross-court, finds post, comes to the basketball.
Nice
She runs into Montville, and Montville swats it down. Then
Two
there's
Blue
some
Devils
ball
got tangled up
contact,
here.
and, yeah, it rolls out of bounds, and that's that thing where, when it rains, it pours.
Not for a lack of effort.
No, absolutely not. Just bad luck. Bad luck when, it's just things just aren't going to break your way. It's, we talk about it being a bounce of a basketball or what have you, and you just get that feel at some point. It's just not going to break that way.
So here comes second team.
Coach Jim Oxford has decided that's enough with 44.5 seconds to play in the third quarter and a 59-16 lead. Takes that moment to give a round of applause to each one of his seniors, gets them off the floor, and now here comes the youngins to get their experience on the floor. Mostly freshmen. There's a sophomore and a junior as well that were available on the bench at the start of the night. I can tell you that Kat Davis is the junior. She's out there with the basketball right now. Avery Barrefeld is the sophomore. Everybody else available is a freshman.
And what you like to be able to see when you have wholesale changes like this is how far off the cliff does the talent drop.
Yes.
So that, we're going to have 8+ minutes to be able to see. Because a lot of times when you need that depth, especially if you want to go deep into the playoffs, especially if you want to have this pedigree, this legacy of a program. So to be very excited to see.
Shot clock violation?
That goes as a shot clock violation.
How did it get down
There's
there?
a lot of very
players. I guess there was no possession. A scramble for the ball, went out of bounds, came back.
Well, if there was a lack of possession,
shot
clock would have reset.
It was during Mountaineer possession, though. Scramble, out of bounds.
Okay.
Still came back, Mountaineers.
All right. They were rolling it in, trying to keep the clock from running. I know that. And Smith just a little off the mark over the front rim as the third quarter winds to an end inside the Fieldhouse here at Wachusett Regional. Through 3 quarters, the score, Wachusett 59 and Leominster 16. Happy to have you with us on Leominster TV. I want to thank Bradley Bernard, bringing those beautiful pictures to you from high above courtside inside of this fantastic Fieldhouse facility here, built right around, I believe it's the early 2000s, maybe early to mid 2000s, we'll say like the 07, 08, 09 time period. I believe, and it might even be later, Bill Thomas. It might have been after 2010. It's fairly new as part of a renovation they did here at Wachusett Regional, and
I would say
beautiful.
They put a lot of thought into the layout. We have 8 full-size basketball courts in this field house when the bleachers are put away. But just the way it's laid out, just a great athletic complex, and the rest of the school is a great complex as a whole. But, the sports teams play up to the facility on top of it and, play with some pride. And, you like to show off your gym. You like to compete. And the Mountaineers are doing it on both sides, the boys team and the girls team. We're seeing the girls team front and center tonight, and everything we thought they would be. Unfortunately against our Lady Blue Devils, but you can see the difference in the skill level right now.
Vivamore with the inbound, and the fourth and final quarter begins in this one. And there's a strip. That was Barrefeld. Dropped it off for Petto. Now Barrefeld over the head, and you see Coach Jim Oxford calling out some of the fundamentals, trying to get these young players to work the basketball a little bit. They're trying to kind of master that smooth nature that you saw from that experienced senior-laden starting lineup. Cut around the lane, it got tipped. Davis will kick it back and ends up out of bounds, and Leominster gets the basketball back. Mountaineers are on their way into the top half semifinal. They'll take on the winner of the Holy Name and Natick game, also being played right now. Was the 4-5 matchup here in Central Mass Division I girls. That game will be 6:30 on Sunday. It will be played at WPI Harrington Auditorium, a historic facility and a great one at that. A fantastic old-time facility if you get a chance to go on out and check that one. And it's been through a renovation over the last decade or so to keep it alive. Beautiful facility. 6:30 the tip-off on that one. It'll be Wachusett, winner of the Holy Name Natick game. That's on Sunday, March the 3rd.
Yeah, WPI's done some fantastic things with their athletic complex. They got that soccer field on top of the parking garage. What more could you ask for?
Softball field right next to it. Bill Thomas have worked there. Foul called in the post. Looks like 12, Lindsay Isaac, the freshman, gets billed for the foul.
Foul on number 12, Grace Adams, her second, team third.
At 3 will go. I believe it was 30 who hit the 3, Bill Thomas.
You watched the game, I'll tell you.
Jill Petto, I believe, who has had the finish. First, though, Bill Thomas.
Oh, down here. I'm watching my video feed.
Here's the bounce in the lane. It's a loose ball. Petto comes out with that one.
Rookie mistake.
Don't worry about it. Here's the drive into the corner. And that is a dumper for 2. That goes for Gina Pilata, the freshman. 6 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Vivamore, foul line. Ball tipped out of bounds. It will stay with Leominster.
One thing I will say, Coach Jim Oxford for the Lady Mountaineers being a lot more vocal. I can hear him cross courts. There's a lot of coaching going on with this group of second teamers in here. So we've seen clearly a bit of a drop off in skill level from obviously the upperclassmen. They've had 4 years with Coach Oxford and been able to grow with this program. And so these underclassmen here getting coached the whole time from Coach Oxford.
Bounce inside for Faith Akachiri, goes up for the lane, got fouled by Petto, and she'll go to the line, 2 shots.
So what do you think the scrimmages look like, Kate, when you put your 5 starters out there with seniors and then you throw your freshmen out there to play defense against them? That's probably quite a learning experience when it comes to practice for the Mountaineers.
Day
the
in and day out.
Yeah.
That's
how you get better.
That foul builds to Davis. It's going to be her 4th, team 3rd.
Oh, wow. All right. Mountaineers are well on their way to their game average for the season, average 69 and 1/10 points per game through 20 games. Faith Akacheri with a finish there on that free throw. Inside, a nifty pass finds Charlotte Head, and she'll lay it in and good. Loose ball, tipped away. Finds its way to Pilata. Pilata the drive. Little body contact from Smith. Ball comes loose. Faith Akacheri up floor looking for Vivamore. Through her hands. And Barrefelt will come down with the basketball. Barrefelt took some body contact and then a little tap dance is a travel.
Yeah.
And the ball goes back to
Good
Leominster.
defense there by Vivamore. Hands up in her way. You know, you talk about the Mountaineers well on the way to their average scoring, but they're also going to hold Blue Devils well under what they've been giving up defensively, too. So they're winning on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively tonight.
Finnegan gets her first points on the board tonight for the Blue Devils.
5:10 to play here in the fourth quarter. Leominster crosses the 20 mark. Ball will bounce out of bounds, and Leominster will get the basketball back, and that was a nice shot from Finnegan. Got a good look on the floor. Textbook jumper, and makes it go. That mid-range jumper is so vitally important. You know, you always talk about, in a bet ball sport, if you can hit, they'll find a spot for you on defense so they can get you in the lineup. In basketball, it's the mid-range jumper. If you've got that mid-range jumper in your game,
Grace
Adams demonstrating there, a little turnaround spin will get it to go. If you've got that mid-range jumper in your game, it's such a nice ad. They'll find a spot on the floor for you.
Absolutely.
Back to the top of the key. Through the hands of Pilata, over to Petto. Pilata distributing from the top of the key. Now inside she goes for Head, tipped away. Akachiri up floor finds Finnegan. Finnegan throws on the break, stops just inside the arc. Through Curly White, sets up Adams 3. Got the front rim and the ball bounces loose to Petto. Halfway through this fourth and final quarter of the Division I Central Mass Girls opening round. Shot up will not go for Barrefelt. Put back for Head won't go either. Loose ball down, finds its way to Petto. Now Barrefelt. Set up Pilata for a 3. Will not go, and down it comes through Akachiri and into the hands of Curly White.
Offensive rebound there by the Mountaineers, keeping that ball alive. Using their height advantage now, even though they have the second teamers in there.
Adams. to Ava McDonald, seeing her first action tonight. And she gets bodied up on by Charlotte Head, who kind of has the body contact, then the reach around with the deny hand. You want to deny the basketball, just can't touch the body as you do it. Helly Monville will check back in the game for Ava McDonald. 3:39 to play here in the fourth quarter.
This becomes the other thing. Most of these young ladies are not used to having 3 officials, so you're not going to be getting away with quite as much as you would during the regular season, particularly if you're a second teamer.
And there's a reach-in foul called against Leominster. This is a first opportunity into the game.
Foul on number 33, Gina Plata.
I believe what we have here is a call-up, Bill Thomas. And of course, I love a good call-up that is wearing a number and a name that I don't have. Down the floor, into the corner.
Would that be 32?
And again, the drive and foul called there. Anybody have tonight's program?
I do.
You gave mine away.
Do you mind? Yes, I did. That's my bad. All right, here we go.
That's not going to help. Want to guess?
Foul on number 33.
We're going to play a game. If this is your name, raise your hand. Like, hot, cold game. No, Bill Thomas not going to be able to
All
make
right,
that work.
Finnegan hits her first. Wachusett now up to 5 fouls in this one. That one was against Pallotta, her first, team 5th. Finnegan hits her second. And it's 66-24.
3:14 to play here in the fourth quarter. Over the head. A little maneuver by Barrafelt to start a drive.
Bella Gasparo.
Did I hear Bella Gasparo?
Yes.
I believe that might be the 32 that we're looking for.
Of course, she's all over the court, and we don't know what to call her. who to give her credit to being?
Bella Gasparo, number 32.
Awesome. Loose ball there. Picked up by Pallotta.
There's no
Leominster
32
tried
out
in
there.
transition.
22.
Nope, there is a 32, Kate. Lay-in just went right by her. But there's another number I don't have.
32 and 22.
It's a new 24.
Oh, boy.
Well, so it goes. Shot off the side, out of bounds.
We'd love to get credit, but unfortunately, we don't have all
This
the
is always the
numbers.
problem when you have playoff
Exactly.
call-ups, and I hate it because it's your first, varsity experience on the floor.
And it's their parents and
And
grandparents.
it's their parents and
there who are
grandparents that are watching,
Oh, yeah.
and you want to be able to call them out and recognize them. And unfortunately, for all my wanton preparation, occasionally they slip a couple by me. That ball tipped out of bounds. Last touch there by Isaacs, and Leominster gets the basketball back.
Blue Devils ball.
I suppose as part of my pregame homework, I could ask the coaches if they had any surprises for us.
Kind of like the officials before an NFL game.
Free agent
You're gonna do
signings.
anything? Yeah, you're gonna do anything we should know about ahead of time?
Yeah, bring these 6 kids up from JV.
We want to thank those of you that have joined us all night long on Rivalry Family Media on Facebook Live. Remember, this game will be available in replay on Leominster TV on the channels of Comcast and Verizon within the next couple of days. And then, of course, if you are looking to get that replay from YouTube, you can find it at Rivalry Family Media, and you can subscribe to Rivalry Family Media on YouTube. We'll have the game up in the next 24 hours or so. The jumper will not go, and the rebound is down for Isaacs, who gets the put back and go.
And don't be scared off by the word subscribe. It's free.
That's correct.
It's free.
It's YouTube lingo for free
We
and
want
get
to know.
notifications.
Right. We want to know that you're paying attention.
And a run out, lay-in will go. Previous basket eclipsed the season average when they crossed 70. Now 72, they've eclipsed it by 3.
And they're not letting up. They're playing right to the buzzer. And I think that's a testament to the coaching, have these young kids out there. Like I say, it's all about winning possessions. And you got your freshmen out there. They want to score as much as your starters do.
They are playing
Can't tell them don't score. It's
extended varsity time in a Division I playoff game. What better trial by fire for a young player can you possibly have? Interior pass, finds head, it won't go. She gets her own rebound, misses again. Battle for the loose ball. It's run down by Vivamore. Last minute to play here in the fourth quarter. And Vivamore can't find the string.
That's the way the
Out of
night has
bounds
gone.
it goes.
She knows it's just been a frustrating night.
That'll be the 16th turnover of the half for the Lady Blue Devils.
Ay, ay, ay. It's like a yo-yo. You could just see her trying to get it to walk. It's why I could never master that walk the dog thing. Like she was trying to pull the ball back in, and the string was gone. It was off her finger, and the yo-yo rolled away. Like
Talk
that's
about
just,
yo-yo. That's you.
the lay-in will go.
Everybody
for
was thinking
Isaacs.
it. I just said it.
Where is she?
Last 30 seconds here of the fourth quarter. That's what marriage in television sounds like. Ball inside, tipped away, and the basketball will stay with Leominster. 23 and 1/10 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. A 74-24, 50-point commanding Mountaineer lead. We have to redefine some of the superlatives I use. Usually a 10-point game we call a commanding lead.
Especially with less than a minute to go.
Oh, yeah. Bouncing basketball here is picked up by Barrefelt, and she will dribble it out. Shot clock is off, 10 seconds to go. Curly White is going to step up on defense and force a pass, and the Mountaineers begin to celebrate. Leominster continues to defend, and
they want the ball one more
they're
time.
They're going to dribble basketball
right
out, and you can see a little bit of frustration
yeah.
there. That's one of those
Vivamore
moments when you're the team, you got to kind of get the explanation. They're being sporting by not continuing to pursue. They're not being insulted.
That's how you see at the end of an ABA game. The teams lose by 15 with 10 seconds left.
Stand
Somebody fouls the guy. It's like,
Yeah.
really? Come on,
Why?
buddy.
Why? Yeah, just leave
Show
it be.
some sportsmanship.
Absolutely. This one will end here at the gym at Wachusett Regional, and with a 50-point Mountaineer win at 74-24. Wachusett will move on in the bracket to the semifinal spot. They will continue as the top seed down at WPI. 6:30 on Sunday, March the 3rd. They got the winner of the 4-5 matchup in Holy Name and Natick. We wish lots of luck to either of those schools who draw the next straw.
I wonder if
go
either
up
one of
against
those
this
schools,
machine.
either one of those schools sent a representative here tonight. They got to be fearful of what they were watching.
Everybody will get their best shot. I mean, that's the one thing about being the best team on the block. You're going to get the best shot that everybody has. And some nights for Leominster, they came out, gave it their best shot in that first couple of minutes, and then just things started not to go quite the way they were.
We saw some good hands-up defense the first couple of possessions, a couple of turnovers, a couple of fouls, but didn't take long for the Lady Mountaineers to get on a roll, and roll they did.
Indeed they did. 74-24, the final score. We step aside for a moment here on Rivalry Family Media and Leominster TV. We'll be back with a full post-game stats and Coach Rusty Frederick. All that coming courtside here at the Fieldhouse at Wachusett Regional. Stay with us.
Rusty's got a jacket on.
You want me to go talk to him to see if he wants to talk before he bails?
I'll see you on Wednesday night. I'll see you on Wednesday night. You'll be there, right? All right.
Yeah, Ray and see if we can get somebody else.
Super.
Have a good one, mate. we're channel, channel 25 here, Fox News or something. Take a seat. Get in here with Todd. All right. Absolutely. I do too. Oh, it was a game for about 4 minutes. And then it was 25 to 2. I looked up and what happened? Oh, hey! Come on, she's been sitting there. Oh, yeah. I'm recording whenever you're ready.
Back courtside here with Leominster TV and Rivalry Family Media. Happy to have you along with us as we continue post-game 74-24. Wachusett a winner in the opening round of the Division I Central Girls Basketball Playoffs. And I'm joined now by Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick. And Coach, I appreciate you taking the time coming over. Tough night tonight. Tough loss. Not the way you wanted the season to end or the way that you envisioned it ending. But sometimes you just have to say, great job, and on to the next one.
That's why they're the best team. They're the 1 seed. They're 20-0. You know, we looked forward to the opportunity. The girls were ready to play, and unfortunately, we didn't get off to a good start. So they start to feel pressure, even though there's really no pressure on us. It's still there. It's the nerves. But we have to learn from it. We want to be them. We want to be the team that comes in, and we know how we're going to play and what we're going to do and do it. I mean, I'm trying to mix and match now. Defenses and stuff. We're Wachusett. They know they're going to come and play man, full, and harass you and make it difficult.
And their game, when you're just looking at what's ultimately trying to happen on the floor, you're right. They've got a design. They know exactly what they're going to do. They know where they need to be on the floor. And now you're just trying to play disruptor in that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, say we play our best game and they play their best game, it's still, not a contest. So we were hoping Wachusett would come in a little, they've beaten us twice already going in, plus a scrimmage before. So we were just hoping they come in a little slow and we could get off to a good start. It didn't happen. We got off to the slow start, and they were hitting everything, every loose ball.
The first 4 or 5 minutes were actually incredibly promising because you were able to keep them off the board. So it created that opportunity in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the ball game, and then they figured out where the basket was again.
Yeah, and we had some back doors that were there early. If we could just connect on one of those passes there, a layup, it just breaks the ice. And when you don't score, I mean, I don't know how long we had, 2 points on the board for a while, and I kept looking up. I go, oh, still at 2. So, they play great D, and I've watched a lot of film on them, and, when they step up in pressure situations, that's why they're who they are. And, I saw a game earlier, Minichug, and they were down 2 late in the game, and the defense just stepped up. They take charges, they get loose balls,
Knowing what you know tonight, obviously, and what you had to match up against as you kind of look down the road for this Mountaineer team, we were talking about it. I don't see a team in Central Mass that's going to be able to do it.
Oh, no. Holy Name lost. I don't know how the scores of tonight's games, but Holy Name, the second time they played them, I believe they lost by 10. So they learned, they lost the first 130 and then 10 the last game, and so maybe them, and I don't know much about Natick, but this team is to be reckoned with. They play a great schedule, the toughest teams, so they're ready.
as we look forward to what the future holds for you. Obviously, this is the end of season number 1. Season number 2 to come. You'll give yourself, maybe a bus ride before you start talking about in your mind next year. You start to move the pieces around, right? At least enough time to get to Leominster. And now it's about setting that benchmark. And, I said it to you before you came over. You alluded to it right off the top in our conversation. You now have that benchmark. This is where we want to be. That's the team we want to be. We've got to take the steps in order to get there.
Yeah, I mean, going into next year is going to be a lot different. Well, they already have the basics down. Now we just got to define ourselves and turn out to be this team Wachusett is and really work out. I think the pieces are there. A couple more pieces come in, we'll be ready to compete. And maybe next year at this time we're here again, or maybe we're at our home. And we can win the first round and move on.
Try to be able to take that first step. Coach Rusty Frederick, thank you so much for being here with us, and we'll see you next season.
Can't wait.
Right,
pleasure.
Coach.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Quick break, and we're back with more. You're watching Leominster TV and Rivalry Family Media. Stay with us.
I cut out a little quick, huh?
Great game, Coach. Great season. Good night, Coach. Sure. Yep. Thank you.
They've got to work it out.
He should be able to see if he can bring a broadcast media in. What's he do? Wachusett coach. Oh, wants to find out if he can broadcast it.
He wants us to come.
He wants you to.
Or Todd wants. Well, Todd wants to do it for him because they get no media coverage. They kind of like wish we could have some coverage.
I mean, he should be able to work that out, or should have worked that out.
Well, I think when it came up, he was kind of spitballing, not expecting to. Oh yeah, sure, we'll come. We'll follow you. But he's got Leominster connections and stuff, so why not? It's not like that. No connections.
going to get the MIAA to bless it. If they bless it, we can do anything we want to do. I said, that's the whole purpose of this venture, is to be able to go and do whatever we do. So he was excited. He's like, well, what do you guys charge? I said, charge? This is a week old. I said, I said, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I said, Coach, we're just happy to be there. I said, kidding me?
So is he going to call him MIA?
Yeah, he's going to talk to me. They work it out. He was like,
Really?
yeah, like, how's Sunday? Actually, we won't be where we are. I said, I get where you're at.
But isn't that what it's supposed to be about?
In my mind, yes.
That'd be a whole tirade. Whole
I think
tirade.
the only way they give us something tonight is the last one. They have their streaming that they're selling through the Federation. I just well, football because it went crap. No, yeah, they got the TV rights on it with all the other sports. They do when streaming. So it is what it is. It'll be okay.
I'd like to provide with some content.
Back inside the gym here at Wachusett Regional, this beautiful Fieldhouse facility. A final score once again, 74-24. The Mountaineers a victor tonight. We can tell you, as we have gotten results from over in Natick this evening, excuse me, over at Holy Name this evening, just across town here in the Worcester area. Natick with the win, the upset victory, 5-4, apparently a very even matchup. And Natick, the winner tonight, 40-26. So Natick will move on. They will be the challenger for Wachusett on Sunday night, March the 3rd, 6:30 at WPI for that matchup. And a great victory there for Natick, also part of Central Massachusetts, according to the IAA. And so that will be the Natick Wachusett matchup. Will be the next part. I mean, one thing that you could tell as you kind of went through. So now, obviously, with Leominster eliminated, you eliminate Holy Name off of the list. You eliminate Shrewsbury off the list. Wachusett is the lone remaining physically located in Central Mass. I like that traditional Central Mass team that is left in this region, and they will they are certainly still the standard bearer
Founding members
for this particular area. Indeed.
If Central Mass has a representative, they picked the right one.
That would be the representative to have in the overall scheme.
Absolutely.
For sure. Kate's got your final numbers for this 74-24 Wachusett win over Leominster tonight.
All right, let's take a look at team totals first. The Leominster Lady Blue Devils shot 9 of 32 from the field. That's 28%. They were 1 of 8 from behind the three-point arc, so that's 13% from three-point range. They shot 5 of 7 from the free throw line, so the 71% on free throws, not too bad. 18 rebounds, 1 steal, 33 turnovers, though, in this one. Not a very good number there. Individual statistics for your Lady Blue Devils. Finnegan ends the night with 4, Smith with 2, Adams with 6, Faith Akachiri with 4, Monville with 3, and Vivamore with 5. If we take a look at the Lady Mountaineers of Wachusett team totals first, 31 of 64 from the field, 48%, and that percentage dropped way down once the second teamers came in. A lot more missed shots from the second teamers. 9 of 22 from three-point range. That's 41% from three-point range. They were 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 50%, 23 rebounds, 9 steals, 17 turnovers for the Mountaineers. If we take a look at individual statistics, Vinton ends the night with 12, Davis with 4, McDonald with 19, Lamper with 9, Isaacs with 4, the other Lamper with 8, Post with 7, Head with 2, Pito with 3, and Pallotta with 4. Only 2 players for Wachusett did not score.
Yeah, so 9 out of the 11 scored. That's what, as you were looking down the list there, I was counting and I'm looking, I'm going, wow, was it 12?
10 out of 12.
10 out of 12
on the
10 out of 12.
sheet.
That's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. As far as production goes. But that's, I mean, ultimately in basketball, that's what you want is you want to have that wide array available for points to be scored. And clearly, That was what was out there tonight, and even after attaining that 74-24 lead, and I think it was around like 60-ish, where they actually made the full-scale switch.
Yes.
And when they did, although the scoring average lowered, you could see young, hungry players that were looking forward to their opportunity to be on the floor.
The aggression and the style didn't change. The execution was not quite there, but it showed from the experience.
Physicality not quite
But
there.
running that system, you can see how they can work girls in because the younger girls are buying into that same system that the seniors are so successful with. And while we're throwing out numbers, I got to throw one more number. The 5th win by the Lady Mountaineers by 50-plus points.
Unbelievable.
And who knows what they could have achieved and how many times they pulled starters in the third quarter. Just a tremendous basketball team. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Beautiful to watch.
Team.
Beautiful to watch. So much fun.
Poetry in motion.
Coach Jim Oxford had said to me pregame, this is the best team that he has ever had. And over the last decade, that's quite the statement, to say the least. But they certainly acquitted themselves like the best team he has ever had tonight. And I know that is an opinion that he continues to hold on to and will continue to hold on to for the year to come. And then, come back and see what next year brings. But, I alluded a little bit to it with Coach Rusty Frederick. I don't see it. I just don't see a team on here. Even with a 40-26 victory, I still don't see it in that sense as well. So very, very impressive victory to say the least. We'll see where that ultimately
Tall
goes.
task for Natick, and I don't know if they had a random scout here looking around, and maybe they might have been more worried about what was going on in their game, not looking ahead, but there's plenty to be worried about come Sunday for Natick.
Indeed, there will be. So Wachusett and Natick will move on. Leominster to the off-season where preparation will begin. Certainly, there's the lot for Coach Rusty Frederick to build on after year number 1.
Oh, he's got some kids coming back. I saw Skylar over there, and they're looking forward to it. And it's a tough way to end the season, but everybody ends the season on a loss except one team. That's usually. Right. And it's a harsh reality. But the Lady Blue Devils, I think they exceeded expectations, I would say, after not making the playoffs last year and struggling. New coach, I think things are on the upscale.
74-24, Wachusett a winner tonight over Leominster, and the Mountaineers will move on to play Natick on Sunday in the Central Division I semifinal. It's at WPI's Harrington Auditorium. Get on out to that one. Fantastic facility, old-time classic basketball auditorium. A lot of fun. Definitely a great place to go for that game. You want to check that one out, 6:30 on Sunday for that one. I want to thank Bradley Bedard for coming out from Leominster TV tonight and bringing you this coverage. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins. On behalf of both Leominster TV and Rivalry Family Media, we say thank you so very much for being a part of our family. And until next time, so long, everybody.
Awesome.